Apac. Match number 18 coming to you live right now. Final match of Miramar already for this Saturday. Of course, we'll have two more tomorrow, but Erangel to follow after this. 156 points for LG Divine, 155 points for Buriram United. It's once again Vietnam versus Thailand.
Yeah, this is as close as you could have asked for, honestly. Like, no one wants to see a one-horse race where we potentially had that last season. It's not as exciting from a viewer's perspective, and now we've got that. We've got the close games that really, that's all we can ask for at this stage. And now coming into our final games, I just want to see some really good, really high octane action coming out from our top two teams, and hopefully we can get a little bit of swapping going on the leaderboard, a little bit of back and forward.
See the rankings on Miramar. Division X, 96 of their 125 points over on Miramar. That is a
surprising,
whopping one-sided affair, which really, that in itself is a story. That if they can actually translate the performance here from Miramar over to Erangel, I don't see why Division X can't take that third spot away from Fury. They're only 3 points behind them now. Fury, though, themselves have actually been more of an Erangel team. So we might just sort of be seeing the full aspects of that, where you've got the Miramar team playing before the Erangel team. And so I guess the leaderboard highlights that, at least from what we've been seeing. But I think that's really that's been the biggest deficiencies for these two teams, Fury and Division X, is that they've lacked on one map. For Division X, they've lacked on Erangel. For Fury, they've lacked on Miramar. And that's been the biggest factor. For Cerberus Esports, actually, they've been smack bang in the middle, pretty even on both Miramar and Erangel, which is a really good sign. It's just that evenness hasn't been enough on both sides to get them into the top three conversation just yet. Although after their previous performance, they're not too far away, 12 points behind Fury. I would dare say the 40 points of LG Divine might be too much, but hey, 7 games remaining. We've seen some funny things happen before in the past. I wouldn't put it past it, and I certainly wouldn't count them out. The only team, the last team, I would say Edge, I'd say the top 5 have all got a chance to still win PCS through Apac. Everyone else, I'd say, are as good as done.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think Sharper was one of those teams where I felt like they were having really good, solid performances. Like, they're up there with their kills. They've had some decent placements, but they just haven't had those more often games where they're higher placing as well. They've got the damage, they've got the kills, they've got everything else in between. They just need to convert a couple of rounds, get themselves top 6 placements, get a bit more of bonus points here and there. Because I do think that they're a definite contender. They're very scary individually, and it doesn't take much from that point to sort of push yourself up into the top 3. And for them, it's very easy at the moment.
Observers sort of pan over Wanky Kamukau running through the desert here. Solo, very far out west of Los Leones. Angel Alliance, again, similar to the first match, in a similar position, just a bit close by to Fury. Angel Alliance did drop out of the top 8, unfortunately, for the Philippines team. They dropped to 10th. For Bay, they did tumble down to 11th from 10th, so they only did drop the 1 place in the end from the future. Weren't able to capitalize. VTR was the team that did capitalize, though. But as we've sort of alluded to time and time again, you look at like 8th to 12th, is 11 points. There's not much points separating those teams, especially Bay to VTR there, 5 points from 11th to 8th. Purple Mood on 99 points. A couple of really good games, I think, away from securing a top 8 finish, which is just tremendous for their first outing to PCS in 2020. A really good debut, showing very much a team to watch out for in 2021. Angel Alliance, again, similar to Purple Mood. A really good showing. And it's just about finishing strong now. They've done enough work. They will crack 100 points, but they've got to finish strong. Make sure they don't tumble down the standings with 4 or 5 games to go.
Yeah, that's right. Another team that definitely doesn't want to tumble down the standings is the likes of Magic Gaming. They've had a really good event so far. the previous PCS2, they did come in 14th position. So they've really stayed at it, and they've made a pretty solid name for themselves at the moment. And that's what I think a lot of these teams need to do. Even if they're not coming in like the top 10, top 9, top 6 areas, you just have to keep coming back and keep showing that each time you come back, you're learning more and you're just coming back stronger. So I think if you were to look at any team at the moment, you'd definitely look at Magic Esports and be pleasantly surprised by how they're performing now.
Victim Rise back into the top 8. A team that can definitely frag with the best of them. As they showed us in the last match, they'll be pushing towards Bay in this match. And for Bay, we've spoken about them at lengths and sort of, I guess, more so the worries for them and what's been a pretty disappointing PCS event as it currently stands. They can still yet turn it around, though. 7 matches still to go and get points from. And they're not that far away from, say, Sharper. It's not even 20 points. It's only 18 points from 6th position. So you've got to make sure as a team, I mean, I obviously don't know how they're feeling right now, but you can't have that defeatist mentality. You've just got to get into that next game, back yourselves in, that you're going to turn it around towards the end. As we watch LG Divine actually hunt down Bay once again. It's deja vu, bit of PTSD flashbacks here for Jukesy as he gets breached by J and NAMC. They all arrive and Jukesy will depart.
It's definitely history repeating itself, but this time Bay capitalize. Neverhall will actually pick up the knock onto Jun. Will do a lot of damage, and it looks like Bay might be going for a re-breach here onto Divine. They're setting themselves up on the outskirts.
Surely not.
I'm not sure what's happening. Jukesy looks like he wants it, but it looks like Bay will just pull off and kind of just surround the LG Divine compound now. Levi's has...
Oh my god.
Off the edge, and that is an amazing shot, actually. That's very unlucky there from Jukesy, and this looks like it'll spell his doom.
Wow. I think that's... Man, that's just the difference, though, as well, between the two teams there. You see the knock from Battle Arena Elites. They don't push on it. They don't look to capitalize. They try to play safe but aggressive. Aggressive in the sense that they sort of stuck around the area, which they're going to get punished for. So it was a bit like sort of caught in no man's land, right? It was like, do we push? Do we not push? We'll stay close, but we're not going to really go and do anything as God Meow finds an easy kill into Gypsy Danger. But as soon as Jukesy is knocked, Levi's is like, bam, we're going to push. We're going to kill him. And in the end, Bay get taught a lesson.
Yeah, this could be a really big issue for Bay if they're trying to play too safe, and it can just end up catching them off guard. So hopefully they pull their britches up and start playing a bit more of their own game. And I feel like that's a big issue for a lot of teams, just in PUBG in general, is that you get lulled into a game style that you don't want to play because you're a little bit worried of how your previous performances are going. I feel like you've kind of got to push it all to the side and just come in with the mentality that you're going to be playing your game. You know, win or lose, you just need to come out and you need to just really show how you want to play, and just, I don't know, you got to do everything you can in your power to start scoring some points.
Bay's number 2. We are going to have at least a slightly different circle, although in the grand scheme of things, around Los Leones again, last time out was more so towards La Bendita, though. This seemingly may play out around the west side of Los Leones. A lot of teams already congested around the city. Wouldn't be surprised to see a team like Hydra Gaming, who's rotating from like La Bendita to potentially push into Los Leones. There's not really any other real estate available, especially this late into the circle. A circle that already has so many teams in it. Buriram will get to play Edge, which they like. But LG Divine have a decent position here. They're close by to Bay, a team that they supposedly have been able to beat time and time again quite comfortably. I know it's a wounded team as well. Now they push to Sophia, and Sophia just keeps running away. And this is just something that keeps repeating itself. Bay just, at no point can they get and take these fights.
Yeah, Bay seem to have themselves in some decent positions, and then because they're playing that greedy style of just being full separate solo splits, they don't have the manpower to contest it. If they had maybe a duo set up in a compound or something like that, maybe not as greedy as they are currently, they can definitely contest it and try to stop Divine from making that play. It only really takes 2 players to get that opening knock or that double knock. So maybe something for the Bay playbook, especially in this lobby where Divine is so comfortable to breach. You might have to play just that tad bit more safe in that area, but not in others.
Oh, Buriram about to go right into the Hornets nets of Ferox. Monty, though, just a couple of little love taps. Doesn't even go for the full spray. Doesn't even attempt to. So much for the Hornets nest. More like the butterfly nest, because Ferox just did nothing. Buriram basically just got out free, scotch free.
Yeah, that's right. Not really the best sort of engagement to take for Buriram there. They did lose a little bit of health there on Konaxi, so just backing off to resettle and potentially take the fight later on. Ferox as well looks like they might be repositioning into a compound so they don't have to hold the entire hill, which would probably be a pretty decent play for them at this stage. And the rest of our circle, though, seems pretty content with their positions. No one really making any sort of movement more towards the center. Everyone's still holding their splits for the most part. And majority of our teams, apart from the future, have already made their way fully into the circle.
Well, we are going to be 10 seconds away from phase 3. So far, only 2 deaths have transpired here for match number 2 tonight. Rain might make it 3 if he does get flushed. I don't think he will. And that is a doozy of a circle. Southside lost Leonis. Pretty much the entire city still in as well for phase number 3. Buriram smack bang in the middle of it. Ferox as well around that vicinity. Purple Mood, good spot. LG Divine and Fury more so towards the northern side of the circle, and a lot of teams on the west will have to make their way in. Rain does get flushed by God Meow, and Buriram United are tied with LG Divine. They take first place though, because going back, as I said, they actually have the 3rd tiebreaker, and that is all that is separating the 2 teams right now, both on 157 points.
And this is exactly what I want to see. I want to see those point swings. I want to see a hard-fought fight from start to end right now between Buriram and LG Divine. I want to see it swing either side constantly, and this circle is going to be an absolute exciting one if it ends in Los Leones. Tonkay actually with a really nice spray down onto Genfos on that motorbike. Pretty unlucky there on the rotate, yeah.
I'd be surprised if they don't lose any more here. Samoya, Kamal's, Gibrit, got to be careful. They go from Magic Esport, now pushing through Unicorn Cyber. Seems like they've gotten through the worst of it. Gibrit did spin out, but he spun out in a good position. Kamals has also lost the tire as well. It's been hard work, but actually the other 3 members have been able to get through for Victim Rise, scraping by into this circle. They're all separated at the moment. It's not really happy days. Could be better. But at least having 3 players alive, and if there is a chance that all 3 can regroup, they can make something of this game, especially when it's a city finish. They can send it into the city, find a safe location, regroup, and make a play towards the back end of this game. We are halfway through match number 2 tonight, match 18 in total, and a minute until phase number 4, which I suspect goes south.
I would think so.
Like southwest?
Yeah. This one's kind of a little bit hard to predict. You would think it would push down to the south, but because of the hilly terrain on that south end, it could just come back into Los Leones. So I'm not 100% sure on which way it's going to go here.
On the kill feed, it's Flood and Cow who combine with the Poochels. 2 kills now for Fury. Slowly but surely, can they find the kills that are required to see them get closer towards Buriram and LG Divine? It's weird to say Buriram first in that exchange of words. Usually it's LG Divine. Battle Arena Elites, of course, if they're going to push into the city, why not push as close to LG Divine? These two teams are conjoined at the hip, it seems. And it was Southwest in the end, as I kind of expected it to go right on top of Sharper Esports. Just keep Cerberus barely in the south side of Los Leones. Buriram are not in play at the moment. I would imagine they can rotate down south, push through Hydra, push through Ferox. I'm not sure if pushing into the city is the play. See what they elect to go for, though. And Victim Rise, I'm just gonna quickly here. Victim Rise, as I said, if the three of them can group back up, get to a good position, they can make something of this. And look where they've grouped up, just south of Sharper Esport. Great spot. They don't need their vehicles anymore. They got 3 alive. Victim Rise looking good here in this match after a bit of a shaky rotate.
Yeah, that's right. Victim Rise have actually put themselves in a beautiful spot in that warehouse. And it's kind of all worked out that way because they lost that first player and because they were sort of struggling to push deeper. They just kept on driving. They found a spot and then they got that circle hard feed. And for the likes of Buriram, I feel like they're just going to leapfrog a lot of these teams in Los Leones and probably pick up a lot of kills as well. So this could work out really well for them if they do find LG Divine in the city and start picking them off. But from what we can see right now, LG Divine looks like they're running towards the center of Los Leones, so looking to avoid being gate-kept by the likes of Cerberus here and potentially come in on a different angle.
From the future, not too far away from that mini logjam in front of them on the leaderboard, but they are far away from the circle at play here. On foot as well, no gypsy danger. Buriram in front of them. Bay, that's going to be a spin out. Can Buriram United capitalize? They need all of the points that they can get, but it's Sophia who gets out of the truck and will at least get that elimination onto Nordra. But in turn, they do lose Nefahor. 1-for-1 trade between the two teams, but Mip and Zuzu across the road. I think God Meow is not long for this world. And the spray from Mip and Zuzu, a little rusty, but gets the job done.
They do.
Buriram will be down to 2 players remaining.
Yeah, that's right. They do have Canaxi teamed up with Edie, I believe it is, in that the 5-stack building in Los Leones. So they still got the players to fall back on. And from the future, who are in quite a terrible spot, might not be too bad right now if they can clean up the 2 members from Bay. Loki's and Sophia have a pretty good idea of where they are and will be looking to gatekeep them. So it's going to be rough from the future, but do they make it in? Doesn't look like it as Sophia picks up the first one onto Mip and Zuzu. Loki's taken down low. Sophia taken down low and into the blue zone. Hexagon will pick that one up. So they've turned it around right now. 2 players left from the future. They take the duel. Loki's will pick up Hexagon. It's all left up to Triple X. Nothing to come out now. Nade won't do anything here as Loki's a little bit far away, and Loki's will pick that up. It will go down instantly to the blue zone. So we lose 2 teams from the same fight with no other help from anyone else.
But it's better from Bay. Better performance in the match itself than what we've seen in recent games. Bit more aggressive, finding some kills. Insight's going to go out early again. Although, I mean, not too early, 19 minutes. It feels early, though, because we've still got 14 teams alive, and we only just saw our first teams eliminated there, but not ideal. Ferox going to get a nice hard feed here, along with Sharper Esport across the road from them up north. Purple Mood and Cerberus very close by to each other. Fury just staying in at that warehouse. Just moments, we'll get a knock on the Subang. That's across the road from each other. Don't think that will find the flush, though, as Best 1301 pushes up for Unicorn onto the compound of Victim Rise. Again, they've only got the 3 players. We saw them earlier on, but Jibbery with a nice nade to keep Best at bay. They don't... Well, they haven't been in many fights, so they should actually have a decent amount of utility as well here, Victim Rise. And if they can clean up Unicorn in quick succession, they can then collect on that as well, pick up whatever they've sort of brought over to this warehouse. Nice spray from Chibaret. Doesn't get the knock though onto that blue. Now he does though with the second effort. Nice little flick turn. Clee's going for the revive. Is that Molotov going to make it?
It looks
surely
pretty
not.
decent from what I saw.
Okay, no, doesn't. Clee does get knocked after Best got revived though, and Unicorn, unfortunately, running out of time, running out of space, running out of players alive here to help contribute to this fight. It's just been one-way traffic. Victim Rise slaughtering them as they pushed into their surrounding area. Only Best remains.
Yeah, Best with a lot of work ahead of him right now. All three of Victim Rise are hard focused on Uchibrit, getting shot in the side from Division X. So a little bit of a reposition here. They can back up into the warehouse, but they really need to clear out Best before they can really do anything at the moment. There is a lot of teams trapped out onto the edge as Flash versus Angel Alliance is going on as well. Fury and Divine as well, fighting it out as Divine are trying to push in. We do see JN getting underneath Fury's compound. Might be able to actually pick up one onto Cow here if he's not careful. Cow will go down to JN. Fury.
This is a big fight.
This is a very big fight. Fury needs this one now. Waikiki Cow isn't able to get back in as Flash will pick that one up. So it's 2v2 right now.
Big fight for LG Divine as well, because they're down to just Namc and JN. And obviously, they're still a point behind Buriram. Buriram's not going to get a massive amount from this game. They've only got the 2 players, but they are inside the circle. Not many around them. So, big fight for 2 different teams for two different reasons. Ronan does land the tag onto Flash. This might mean day trade, though, do spot LG Divine. Vice versa, though. Namc will take out Veronica. Namc and JN just have to push into the warehouse. Ronan and Flood, though, waiting patiently, expecting the push imminently. No one wants to make the first move. No frag grenade, though, for Fury. Closes the door to try and avoid the flash. Closes it again. Mind games here from Ronan. Maybe just thinking too much about this, though, because of who they're up against, but it's working. The door open and closing means he hasn't been flashed, but they do know he's in that position. Do they know where Flood is, though? That's going to be the question at hand. As soon as they push onto Ronan, Flood needs to be the one to get that retrade. They go now. Now he peeks around the corner, but he dies immediately. LG Divine just playing the patience game to perfection. They find the 2 kills. They find an avenue forward in this game, and Fury just cannot get anything to work for them.
Yeah, but it still doesn't look too good for LG Divine here, as they've got not much space moving into the zone, and this blue is very, very dangerous right now. They've got a long way to go. They've got a lot of teams watching them, as Rocky Jims will pick up Namc, JN all by himself now. And it's not looking like it's going to go too well.
Oh, there goes JN. Short-lived, but like a couple of games from last weekend, if you recall, Edge, they were able to get a few kills where they probably shouldn't have, where they were able to stay alive just that little bit longer. The entirety of PCS 3 now for LG Divine, if you look at sort of like extra chance points, they've probably got about 10 to 15 points maybe they shouldn't have gotten. And that's going to come back to bite potentially Buriram. In this case, it's already biting Fury. They're 29 points behind LG Divine with 6 games remaining. That could change, though, heading over to Erangel. Buriram, they've lost the lead. Don't know if they're going to be able to retake it with only the 2 players as well. But even if they don't retake it, it's not a big deal at this point in the game. It's not like it's the final game, obviously. 6 sacks will find the kill onto Los Santos. Sharper Esports just pretty much gatekeeping them. They're going to be very difficult to get into this circle now. Cerberus a good position. Ferox a great position as well, but they haven't been aggressive with this spot. I'm not sure if they've really gotten any kills. In fact, they haven't got a single kill yet.
No, that's right. It's going to be pretty difficult for Ferox to get any kills here until the very late game. They've got the position. They just need to keep their 3 members alive. If they can do that, they should be able to pick up a couple of kills on players trying to push into their compound, as long as they win their gunfights. So, depending on the circle here, this could be really good for Ferox. And this is, I think, where they need to sort of capitalize on these kills. They should be able to pick up someone to the likes of Cerberus, You've got all of Sharper looking to push in as well. You've got a lot of kills potential here, but whether you can actually get any is an entirely different story.
No chicken dinner yet for Ferox so far for PCS3 Apac. They've had 2 second place finishes. Big opportunity for them to break that duck to get a victory here. Fergus, though, 4 up for Division X and need to sweep Magic Esports very quickly. Imamart, Tonke, they're going to be 2 very tough players to get rid of, though. Even as a duo, these are the best 2 players for Magic Esports, just withstanding all of this utility somehow. Neither of them have been knocked just yet either. Despite the nades, IQ 500 does throw one in. Surely this is going to get at least one. It does from Neil. Umamar is knocked. Tonke will push up looking for the demonstration, but he's outnumbered. It was a 1 versus 3. Couldn't really blame him there in that scenario. As Bureau Ram now push over to the tanks here, as Ferox need to keep them out here. They've got to withstand the push from Bureau Ram closing in on their location. They've got the numbers, they've got the position, they should have the utility, and Sweet Soul does get the knock on a Canaxi for encroaching upon their position. They're on the board with the kill this game. Rabbit will get the knock onto Long K of Division X down to the south while they were still going for the revive as well. Onto IQ 500. So Hydra Gaming sort of pounced. They capitalized on this situation down to the south. Purple Mood. I don't even know how they were able to make it this far, considering how much of a gatekeep that Sharper Esports had on them. To their credit, they do get into the top 8, but they do fall short of the mark, going out in 8th position. Edie stays alive. Those are placement points, and that does tie Buram once again with LG Divine, but they don't have the kill tiebreaker anymore.
That's right, but it doesn't take much. They only need 1 extra team to go out here, and our zone is very congested on the south side, so you would imagine that the likes of Camels will go out, and there he does. So that'll put Buram up in front in first position now, just from that 6th placement.
Still 4 alive for Hydra Gaming. Everyone else 3-2. Neil still up for Division X as Sax and Rabbit, Sharper Esports and Hydra just ripped through Division X. Neil just trying to move with the blown up vehicle, use it as cover, but the blue zone is moving. He's running out of time, space, and health. Well, it's actually not moving just yet, but it will very, very shortly.
Division X actually putting themselves 1 point behind Fury as well, so they've caught up now. They're still 30 points behind the top 2. Will take a lot of work for them to start catching up, and especially coming into a Wrangle, which isn't their favoured map by any means. So for them to sort of catch up now is probably not really going to happen.
Buram have retaken the lead, by the way. First place, 1 point over LG Divine. Edie in a great spot as well to get more from this match, and I think they will. Placement point certainly going to go the way of Buram, because Edie just has to hide and he's in the center of the circle. And these teams down to the south, like Hydra Gaming and Sharper Esports, are just going to kill each other. Really good game as well for Ferox. 3 up for them. 4 up though for Hydra Gaming. If they can get rid of Sharper Esports, which they're slowly doing, Tanoy is going to bleed out in the blue after being knocked by Mickey with the Molotov earlier. Now it's a 4 versus 2. There's no reason they should be losing anyone here, which means they can take 4 players into phase number 9. Rabbit with the headshot knock onto Kim Siva, and Hydra Gaming are making something of this match, looking to get out of the bottom 4.
I feel like 6X here can actually make a play onto Hydra Gaming. They have a rough idea of where he is, but they don't really have the positional advantage to capitalize on it. As Cerberus is starting to push towards Edie now, looking for that clear. Edie,
does he know where they're coming from?
No, it doesn't look like it. He is looking the opposite way, looking to run into that smoke. He will do so. Ferox
I think it went too early.
Definitely too early. I think Edie could have waited there and just held the line, and then when Cerberus pushed up, potentially picked up like 1 or 2 knocks. But it just was not meant to be at this point.
Well, regardless, Edie did get Buram back into first place as we are down to the final 4 teams here for match number 18. Ferox with 3, Cerberus with 3, Hydra Gaming with 4. They've got a great position to win this game. They're the favorites. They can watch from the outside. They've got Simon and Rabbit who can be the front line. Tuan Robo and Mickey are the anchors At the back, they're going to be able to watch towards the center dot the whole way through. They are out in the open, though, susceptible to being knocked down, and if they do get knocked, they're basically as good as dead. Cerberus with 3 will be able to hug the edge of the fence line, so they shouldn't really be too much of a target to save Ferox, at least for the time being. 6 sacks is a solo, and that's basically the gist of it here for the end of this match. Ferox have been fed for quite a while. Sharper Esports have been quite the beneficiaries of the circle this match as well, and the same can be said for Cerberus. But Hydra Gaming played it well down to the south. There's a nade up top for Rabbit. Talk about finding some late game loot. Could that nade be a difference maker? Does spot 6 sacks, will flush him out. Sololzi does eliminate Sweet Soul. Second kill of the game for Cerberus. Ferox down to 2. Bryn's copping it hard. A lot of damage as Subang puts the pressure as well into Hydra Gaming from above. Oh, bye-bye. You're both gone, and you don't even know it. From above, Rabbit with a double. 7 kills for Hydra Gaming, and they should go on and win this game now. 4 versus 3. Rabbit, though, gets knocked by Basil. That's a big knock. Opens up the opportunity for Cerberus Esports, potentially, to get back into this. Sololzi's knocked, though, as well. 2 versus 3 remaining.
I feel like if Rabbit stayed alive in that position, that would have been the winning position for Hydra Gaming here. They've still got their 4. They've got 2 knocked out currently, getting 1 res back up. 2 players alive for Cerberus. The nade, will it do enough? It will. It'll pick up Simon. And Simon will get his bleed out onto Sololzi. So it's a 2v2 now. Basil, next nade comes out, and the cleanup.
Oh my god.
Cerberus pick up their 2nd in a row.
Big
Is this the
finish.
comeback story?
Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? They've